Hello and welcome to Pharma Television News Review here in Munich at BioEurope 2010. On this show, I've got Kerstin Valinder, who is Executive Vice President of Business Development at Nycomed. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Kerstin, Nycomed is a company that is very well known around the world. It's a company that is obviously based here in Europe, often perceived to be a Northern European company. Just before we start talking about your role as business development, what is the best way to describe Nycomed?
I would like to say that Nycomed is a rapidly changing company, moving from its Northern European heritage via a strong Central European presence, now going into emerging markets as the primary growth driver going forward. Yeah. So yes, we are based in Europe, we're headquartered in Switzerland, we have still most of our income from Europe, but that is changing rapidly. So this year we expect more than 1/3 of our turnover to be in emerging markets. 5 years from now, probably 50-60%, maybe more.
Right.
So that is a big change.
So are you a regional player or are you a global player?
I would say that we are definitely a global player with organizations in 70+ countries. What makes us different from the real big pharma global players is that we have only a very limited presence in the United States with a specialized derma business. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to launching big products, we will partner for the US territory.
Right. And for some US biotech companies, that might be a good thing because there's an opportunity for them to have a play in that.
We have found that we are a good match with a number of partners for the very reason that we are not in the US and do not have big ambitions to grow in the United States.
Right. Well, before we go into the types of deals you're looking to do, let's just look at Nycomed's organizational structure as far as business development, licensing and acquisitions is concerned. So obviously you head up the business development function.
Yeah, I head up what we call the corporate business development, which is, let's say, taking responsibility for global, European, regional deals. And then we have local business development people out in our affiliates who do the very specific on-demand kind of local deal making that is complementary to what we're doing from corporate. And then, of course, we interact and we stay in touch all the time to make sure that we coordinate in a good way. But the corporate business development function consists then of in-licensing, out-licensing, mergers and acquisitions, and an evaluation and intelligence function that works with helping out assessing the deal.
Right. So what's important here is that, from what I understand what you're saying, not only are you looking structured so you can do global deals, but you're also structured to try and look for regional deals as well.
Absolutely, and I think it is very important. Nycomed is a company that has grown through acquisitions, so our portfolio is a bit of a patchwork, and we have some global products and a focus in, for instance, the respiratory field, inflammation, pain, and gastrointestinal. But out in the regions and in the LOCs, we may have additional therapeutic areas which we need to look after. And also now when we move into the emerging markets, then again, you have a totally different set of products that are really attractive in that setting as compared to what you may find appealing in Germany or France or the UK.
Right, and to emphasize the point that you are interested in the emerging markets. You've just done an acquisition recently in China. Could you just tell us briefly about that?
Oh yeah, happy to. We bought a majority stake in a Guangdong-based company which is called Techpol Biopharma. And we bought it to get access to a company which is fully fledged with R&D, with manufacturing, but perhaps most important, with a sales and marketing infrastructure which Nycomed is looking for in order to launch our products and also in-license products into China. Mm-hmm. We did have a presence before, but not big enough, and it would take us too long to try to expand through organic growth. So this was a very logical step for us.
Okay. Now the other thing about Nycomed is it's a company that's not unknown for dealing with blockbuster drugs. and you are now about to launch a new product in that process. Tell us a bit about that launch, because that's, I think, helps to establish the character of Nycomed.
Yeah, and this is, let's say, the biggest commercial opportunity Nycomed has had for many years.
Sure.
It is the first-in-class COPD product, first oral treatment specific for COPD, and as Nycomed is at this point in time experienced patent expiration of our other big product, of course, we find this launch as a very important thing for the company.
Sure.
And then what one could imagine that Nycomed would say that, okay, in the US we need a partner, but in the rest of the world we'll use this to build and expand our own infrastructure. And partly yes, but partly no, because when we had found a good partner in Forest to launch Daxxify in the US and started looking at the launch plans for Europe, we asked ourselves, are we optimizing this product by doing it entirely by ourselves? Or should we see if someone else could add value, reach customers which we wouldn't reach, and get increased pressure in the launch? And having done that analysis, we found that really going together with someone would probably make sure that we certainly utilize the potential in the product. So earlier this year we signed a deal with Merck & Company, who will be our co-promotion partner in most of the big European markets, and in the UK they will actually be our exclusive licensee for the product.
So Kerstin, what types of products are Nycomed looking to in-license?
So if we look at global deals or wider territories, we have a therapeutic focus in respiratory, in pain, inflammation, in gastrointestinal, and also in our business for surgical tissue management, so surgical products are of interest. If we look at regional, local level, we can have a broader, more opportunistic approach. But I think that across geographies, we are right now looking for opportunities near market or on the market. We have, fortunately, a fairly full pipeline. Not saying that we are not looking for anything, but we are being very cautious not to add more than what we feel we can handle in a good way.
Right.
While we have a big demand for marketed or near market products.
So if a company's got near to market products or products that are on the market, why should they do a deal with Nycomed?
I think that if I represented another company, I think I would look at Nycomed and say that, hey, this is a company that is very dependent on partnering. And they've been doing it for a while, so they are probably quite used to it, quite good at it.
Yeah.
And a partner will always be a priority in Nycomed, because we are not rich enough or big enough in our own R&D to be able to be in any way not paying attention to our partners and their needs.
Right.
I think that is probably the most important. And then, of course, we have a track record of successful launches of partner products.
Sure. So does that mean when you talk about near to market products, are you talking about products that necessarily have to be occupy large markets, or are you looking for niche products?
I think that we are very much fond of niche products.
Yeah.
Because in particular if they're complementary to our existing business, they add not just the turnover and the income, but also a good connection and good service offering to our customers. So I would not at all say that we're only looking for big products. We're looking for good products.
Right. And then it comes to earlier stage deals. Are you looking to do earlier stage deals, get access to platform technologies, or is your focus still further down?
I would say that our primary focus is on projects where you say that, okay, this is a product which is in development.
Right.
Then I think that this changes so rapidly, a little depending on what we have in the pipeline. We're not a huge company. That means that one or two projects that are ongoing go south.
Yeah.
We will have available resources and a demand to look for something else. But so I would say that we'll always, over a longer time period, have interest in products in any phase of development.
Right. So you're quite open to looking at all types of opportunities, but in the end, your preference is for later stage products?
Yes.
Okay. So when it comes to how you now grow going forward, I mean, clearly in-licensing of further products is critically important. You've mentioned the acquisition in China as well. So what sort of expansion plans do you have for taking the company forward? Is it still just going to be, in licensing products?
We have an R&D in the company, but it is very targeted, very specialized, and it is designed to be complementary to the partnering. So I think that is perhaps one of our important value propositions to partners as well, that we can take on development projects from very early phase and all the way through. And in-licensing will continue to be very important. I think that when we look now at our growth initiatives for emerging markets, it is a geographic expansion, but it's also a matter of feeding that new organization with products that are suitable for the emerging markets. And that may not be identical to what is really appreciated in Germany or in the UK or in France. So we need to work along, let's say, several different dimensions.
Yes.
Both finding the infrastructure, the companies that will help us start or have a quick start into the emerging markets, but also the products that will then build and fuel that business.
So again, when somebody thinks about Nycomed and they look at it as a potential partner, they should look at it as a company that's willing to look at a global market, but equally it's a company that has an interest in developing in the emerging markets, which, as you just said, really is basically another list of products that you would be interested in, which may not be the ones that are mainstream products that you would find, say, in Europe or US. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is very true. And I think that one could describe us as the partner who can pick up, let's say, territories outside the US, because that is often what a biotech company may be looking for. They may have their own plans for the US, but they want someone to help out outside. And to be honest, we do not have an organization in Japan, so one should say outside the US and Japan.
Yes, sure.
But the rest, we feel that we are in good shape to take on products and do something good about them.
Right. So what, when we look now at Nycomed going forward in the future, you're going through the launch of Daxus, which will hopefully change the company again, certainly in terms of revenue going forward. So more deals going forward?
Absolutely more deals. And one thing that we shouldn't forget is that if we not want to buy companies, we want to buy products, we want to grow, we want to expand, it is also a matter of being a bit, let's say, strict looking at what we have and should we license out, should we find partner for some of the products we have in our pipeline to make sure that we get the right attention, that they are developed as quickly as possible, and also that we early on secure who will sell our products in the United States, for instance. So we will also be working with quite some out licensing of pipeline projects going forward.
Kerstin Valinder, thank you very much indeed for coming on the show.
Thank you.